have like
Hypothesis, CRISC, Network Plus. How was your experience with pursuing those certs? Smile.
so Network Plus was the first one I did. I did that when I was like 19. So yeah, that was like my first ever introduction to certs. And having not performed particularly well at school, I had like very few anything else. But yeah, the Network Plus was quite good in the sense that it teaches you all the basics of like the OSI model, what types of sort of like what state data is in at each layer, as well as like the interaction between the layers. So as a very junior person, the Network Plus was actually phenomenal. Like I'd really recommend anyone that doesn't understand networking to do that. Like 100%, it's worth your time and effort. Like it will make you a better engineer. In terms of CISP and C-Risk, they're completely different certs. One, so the CISP will cover a very broad but not particularly deep sort of dive into a lot of subjects. And they're ranging from anything from like some military risk assessment, threat models, and like what a SOC does, like encryption, how that works. Like that, there's lots of dipping your toe in several subjects and sort of getting a decent knowledge of it, but not necessarily. You wouldn't necessarily be a specialist in that subject. And then C-Risk entirely focuses on risk management. So it's like one element of the CISSP, whereas yeah, the CISSP covers a shitload of stuff. But yeah, if you wanted to do something more advanced after that, then you've got like all the specialisms, like the cloud one. I wouldn't mind doing OSCP at some point, which is why I'm sort of diving down the Trihackney route. I would see CISP as a good starting point if you're if you've done your early junior career, you're ready to sort of be like sort of accepted as a generalist, and then use that as a stepping stone to something else. And because the CISP is so widely recognised as like not an entry level, but you'll see it on every job posting. Like for some reason, HR departments just love the CISSP. So if you're sort of 5 years into your career and you can achieve it, then I mean, why wouldn't you get it? I think it's it's worth your time and study in just kicking open doors when it comes to job applications. I think I know lots of people don't like the CISSP for that reason, but I think I mean, I'm someone who didn't bother at school. I tried really hard at university later on in my life, and then I've got certs since working. So for me, having those things is way more useful than sort of what I did at school, because I didn't do anything. Yeah. There's a really good, let's see if I can find it. Certification.
If you were to improve security on wireless networks, what security feature would you like to have? Smile. Considering threats like evil twin, MAC spoofing, etc. Smile.
So wireless is a bit weird because you can sort of see everything over the air. So you can see MAC addresses of the devices that are talking. So when it comes to like WPA2, if you can kick devices off the network, they then connect to each other. You can capture that four-way handshake and then see like that four-way handshake contains the password. So then you can offline brute force that that handshake.
Asking because I am pursuing Masters in Information Security and I took up wireless network for dissertation. Smile, smile.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so you can, because you can get the passphrase of any device, then you can just take that and use it again. No one has any knowledge that you've connected to the wireless.
Yeah, exactly. You got my issue. The first line you said smile, smile.
So one thing you'll see in like modern phones is that they now stop sending their hardware MAC address. They start sending spoofed or like randomized MACs. So it's a lot harder from a privacy perspective to track like individual phones. But in terms of the four-way handshake capture, that's still happening regardless of whatever randomized MAC you have. So if you have a specific access point and you're capturing the handshake for that access point, it doesn't really matter who's connecting, you just want to have that four-way handshake, and it's open to anyone around that's making that connection. So yeah, all you need to do is kick someone off the network, and to do that you just send them a deauth packet. So it's a piece of piss. It doesn't. It's like the hard part then is doing the offline crack. But if you've got a decent graphics card or a couple of them, then again that doesn't take very long. I think I can crack my own one in 3 days. So yeah, I have tried. Yeah. What are you doing for your dissertation? Have you like looked into doing the Wi-Fi pineapples or trying to find mine? I've got probably not in here. I've just got an alpha card. I just use that. Yeah, you don't need special stuff for it. Just a graphics card that has promiscuous mode. Yeah, for certs, anyway, this site's awesome, so you copy that.
To be precise, I'm onto ad hoc networks. Smile, so hell ton of spoofing gets in. Smile.
MSec says.
Web link.
Web link. So yeah, if you're at any stage in your journey into cyber, this grid shows you like all the entry level certs at the bottom, and then like the more advanced certificates at the top. I don't know why CISP is so high up. It shouldn't be. It should be further down. But yeah, programming languages are rated quite high, and they span lots of things because it lets you do lots of things. But, what have we got here? Like security operations. They're just sort of banded into different groups. But yeah, if you want to like plan a roadmap of your certificate journey, this is an excellent website. So yeah, if you think my own journey, there's Network Plus, there's the A Plus, where's the N Plus? Net Plus, there we go. So yeah. So yeah, start down the bottom, and then CS like skipped loads. Let's just went straight to CISP. Where's the C risk? Up there. So yeah, now if you think I've did a little bit in networking, I never went into CCNA or anything like that. I didn't deep dive into networking, but yeah, that would have brought me up to CCNA. So there you go. So an intermediate, and then you've got CCIE if you went completely nuts with it. Yeah, I'm more in the risk management side of things now, so hence more certs in this column. And then those are the CISSP concentrations. I'm assuming it should show you the different ones you can get. Kind of. Yeah, you can do like architecture, management, and engineering. There is a cloud one, which I was looking at. Cloud security. There you go. CCSP. But yeah, I was kind of umming and ahhing getting this or going for like an AWS or something, like a specific cert. But yeah, I'm not undecided on that one. You can just go into all of these. And then OSCP is going to be on the red side. There. So they actually rate the OSCP lower than CIS, but yeah, I'd probably disagree with that. That's going to be a lot harder to get. Anyway, where are we? So we're doing XXE. If we use this payload, then the website vulnerable to XXE would display the content of the file. In a similar manner, we can use this kind of payload to read other files, but a lot of times you can fail to read files in this manner for the reason, or the reason for failure could be the file you're trying to read. Right, so we don't need to do anything there. Exploiting. Now let's see some payloads in action. The payload that I'll be using is the one that we saw in the previous task. Let's see how the website would look if we tried to use the payload for displaying the name. On the left side, you can see the burp request that was sent with a URL encoded payload. So that's this green bit. On the right side, we can see that the payload was able to successfully display name Falcon Feast. Now let's try to read etc password.
Sharma_G_ says.
Can you recommend me some resources on wireless security, like where I can look up breaking every bone in the IEEE 802? 11. Smile.
Not really. What did I use before? There used to be some really cool tools, I think, like Wi-Fi, that will like automate the whole thing. I don't know how old these are now. It's been a little while. This used to do like it might not be this one. There's another one that I was looking at. Framework. No, is it that one? Wi-Fi Fisher. There's a really cool one that I found a long time ago, and it would spin up like a man in the middle instance, and the spoofed page would be like the login form for the like I don't know, like the Netgear or whatever router you had. And then yeah, it would like kick everything off the network. The only thing available for people to scan would be an evil twin hotspot with the exact same name, but it'd be open, so people can just connect to it. And then it would show this login screen with the just username credential. If someone entered their username credential into that, it would then authenticate with the actual device. If it passed the four-way handshake, it would then stop the attack, or otherwise it would just keep disconnecting everything from the internet, from the router. So at that point, because it stops the attack and it shuts itself down, everyone reconnects to the original box, but you've captured their wireless username password credentials, like just for a phished, like evil twin thing. I don't know if it was this one or not, but let's give you some of these links anyway.
MSec says.
Web link.
Sharma_G_ says.
Airmaning.
Translated from Tagalog.
Airmaning.
From Tagalog. So this will use Airmon ng, but it like wraps. I don't know, it's kind of like a script that runs those tools beneath, like behind the scenes. So this just automates Airmon, like that whole Airmon like suite. It just gives you a UI or a CLI to sort of spin up the fake instances, and it just sits and runs in the background. But if you dive into how this works, let's have a look. See, like Wi-Fi for share. One of these does like deal with. They might have actually implemented their own ones. I'm not sure. They're doing it through Escape I. So okay, yeah. So they're building the packets themselves, but the other one that I saw ages ago would literally just use the Airmon ng suite to. Like, it was all just a bash script. So it would literally send off like the dewolf packets through Airmon rather than making those packets manually through Python. Might have been Wi-Fi actually.
I also found this while exploring. I think it will help me improve the quality. Weblink, what do you think?
Nightbot says.
As Sharmaji, greater than I do what I must. Stop posting links. Warning.
Stop posting links. So what's this? Oh, Udemy course. So yeah, I mean, I can't. I've never done the course, so I wouldn't be able to judge how good it is. Is this a Cisco cert? CWMP.
Sharma_G_ says.
Got it.
Is it Cisco? Who runs that? Is it CWN? It's a foundation level cert from CWNP. I mean, I don't know who they are. It's good that they're vendor neutral, but at the same time, if they're not if they're not a respected body, why pay them 3 years worth of membership just to have the cert? I don't see the point. Like, who are you? What gives you FAQ? Yeah, I don't get what gives them the monopoly on wireless. They got like a curriculum?
Scroll a little lower please on the page, they got all the topics I guess, Udemy. I also tried to find the document that OPSEC shares for OSWP but rather ended up with OSCP documents.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? If you end up with like trying to find something that's got a similar certificate. So they've got, oh, there's the modules. So they get you to do the FCC, so that tells you like the frequencies that it uses and like the legal registrations of stuff, I guess. Standards. So that's just going to be the RFCs. Wi-Fi Alliance. IEEE. Again, this is all standards. Communication fundamentals. That's just how it works. That'd be four-way handshaking, like carrier sense, collision detection. What is RF? Like, what's a wireless? Yeah, okay. Transmission, receiving, like power. Azimuth elevation. Oh, this is quite cool. Different types of antenna. And more on the standards. Topology. That's not bad there. From my initial, like, who gives them the right to sort of tell you what the hell all this stuff is, like, actually they do go pretty good into it. Yeah, there's the carrier sense, collision avoidance, collision detection. And then basic networking, data link, active passive scanning, WEP. No one's using that anymore. They shouldn't do. Oh shit, it keeps going. Architecture. Interference. The weather. Yeah, weather will affect it. Robust security. Types of wireless attack. How to do a site survey. That's quite cool. Multi-input, multi-output. BYOD. Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it certainly covers. I don't know if they cover it correctly or not, but yeah, it looks like there's a pretty decent spread of information there. One other thing to check out. Wi-Fi mapping. What's the bloody thing called? Wiggle. So if you've ever done any war driving, this site is fantastic. So if you've got access to Kismet or any of the packet capturing for Wi-Fi, this has like a load of uploadable. Should show you the types. So yeah, DStumbler, Gmon, Kismet, MacStumbler, NetStumbler. They've got their own Android app that you can run. and probably Apple as well.
MSec says.
Web link.
Yeah. So all that does is, as you like drive around, it will go and get the hotspots, and then it displays them on a map. So if I zoom out, you should get like the whole of the UK is mapped out, and then you zoom in on one of the dots. Should show you the data. You used to be able to like click on these, I think, and it would show you like the BSS ID and all of that information for where that dot was seen. But yeah, it's quite a good little thing if you know something about it. All right.